So my presentation is over the song People Will Say We're in Love by Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein. In the 1940s, musicals began to become very popular. There was the war going on, and it was seen as an escape. Men and women would go there, and they'd be able to escape from all the horrors. And the music was a reflection of the society of the time. Irving Berlin did a musical called This Is the Army, which was a comedic view of what happened in the war, rather than all the graphic information that was being released and shown. So the musical Oklahoma was set in the West in 1906, and it was about a woman falling in love with two men. One was a farmhand, and the other was a cowboy, and they were competing for her love. And one important thing about the musical is that all of the songs were relative to the plot. This was one of the newer parts. Most of the musicals would just have random numbers involved that really had nothing to do with the plot. They were just time fillers. Some other innovative things about Oklahoma was there was no humor in it. There were no major stars performing, and it lacked the sex appeal of female dancers in the background, dancing in flimsy dresses. And then another big first for this musical was that it had tragedy involved in it. There was one of the main characters that was killed by landing on a knife. So that was a first for musicals. It also added character development to the whole musical business. Most of the time they were very one-dimensional characters, but this was one of the first ones to use drama to make characters multi-dimensional. In 1944, Oklahoma won the Pulitzer Prize for drama. Along with the Pulitzer Prize, it became very famous for its popularity. In 1945, it was estimated that almost 20 million people came to see the show while it toured through countries such as the United States, Europe, Denmark, and Australia. And in 1955, the musical was adapted to be made into a feature film. And then in 2007, the Library of Congress selected Oklahoma in the United States National Film Registry, declaring it culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant. So Richard Rodgers was born in 1902, and his career began when he was 18, when he met Lorenz Art with the help of his family introduced them to him. And he worked on many pieces with Art, and they worked in musicals, movies, and Art passed away in 1943. And then after that, he met up with Oscar Hammerstein, who was born also in New York City in 1895. He was born into the music industry. His grandfather was a theater builder and an opera company director, and his father was a director of a vaudeville theater in New York. So he was born into a musical family, which obviously influenced his life quite a bit. And then the two of them working together, they dominated the composing industry for nearly 15 years, and they wrote music and television and movies and musicals. One interesting thing about them was their writing techniques were very different. While Hammerstein usually wrote the music first and then adapted lyrics to go along, Rodgers would normally fit his music to pre-written lyrics. So for this musical, it was kind of difficult to decide how the process would start. So one of my parts of the project was I had to look at the lyrics and try to decide if the music was written first or if the lyrics were written first. And I came to decide that I think the music was written first. One of those reasons is that if you listen to the words, some of the notes are held out, seeming like they're trying to make the lyrics adapt to the music more. There's also a lot of call and response in the movie versions more, just trying to extend the lyrics or something. And then there's a repeated phrase of some people will think we're in love, and I think that just tries to make the lyrics go timing with the music a little bit better. And And then I have a video of some of this demonstrates the calling response and everything.
Everybody seems to expect me to take.
Yeah, like a swarm of mugwumps.
The neighbors chatter all day behind their doors.
I know way too cruel what they say is quite untrue. Here is the gist, a practical list of don'ts for you. Don't throw cakes at me. Don't please my folks too much.
Yeah, that one.
Don't laugh.
So I feel like some of the held notes and call and response could be used to try to keep up with the tempo of the music. And that's it.